Tragedy is typical. The unthinkable has become routine.
If I'm being honest, I almost feel numb. It's like, yep, there was another shooting. And now we find some joy in the fact that we hear about a shooting in the community, that the student didn't die, that at least it wasn't that. And I mean, that is, what an insane mind frame to have.
So we started this podcast as sort of an exploration of school safety, and we got access to this high school in Richmond, Virginia. People were very open with us, and after we concluded our first day of interviews, 2 hours later, a student was shot and killed right next to campus. And it wasn't the only incident of violence that that school had experienced, nor would it be the last one that it would experience. So we explored basically the impact of community gun violence on not just the school children, but also the educators and the educational process as well.
We wanted to bring people into the spaces that we were in and kind of make them feel like they were sitting having a conversation with somebody and that they could really feel a different level of empathy. I think it shows a very multidimensional, really deep picture of the impact of gun violence on a community and also how a community really comes together to support each other and move forward after these really tragic incidents.
In Richmond, it's all too common for students to get shot. And Huguenot School Resource Officer paces the hallways, listening to what high schoolers are saying, especially the dead students' friends. It's all part of a carefully thought out plan in Richmond Public Schools, a step-by-step response involving people across the district. Everyone has a role. Some of this is experimental. It looks nothing like what schools have traditionally done.
There are kids dying from gun violence at completely unacceptable and unimaginable rates. And the students that we encountered dealt with unimaginable tragedy on a pretty regular basis. What we tried to highlight was the people who are really working hard to tackle this issue with interesting and innovative tactics, and just the passion and dedication they have to trying to keep kids safe, not just on campus, but trying to just build safer communities.
The everyday community gun violence that happens is not reported on as much, and we really wanted to see how one community is trying to tackle that issue when they're dealing with it on a day-to-day basis.
We hear about youth in war zones and what they're experiencing, and what some of these kids are experiencing is on par with that kind of violence. People should not be dying or be afraid to die before the age of 18 in a country that's not even at war. The great journalists, and hopefully this is what the Peabodys are recognizing, are the ones that help people understand and make meaning out of things that unfold. That's one thing that really separates humans maybe from other kinds of creatures in the animal kingdom, is our ability to tell stories, to remember stories, and to make meaning out of things that unfold around us.
And these were my words. When you all graduate, you may never see any of these people again. I said, some of them are going to go off to college, some going to work, and I said, and some of them may die. You know, that's what I was telling them. And here it is, the very next day, one of your classmates.
Those days in the aftermath and that day were some of the hardest days that that community is going to experience, and still they were so open during the toughest times when they really did not have to, because we were total strangers. And I think, it showed us that there is just so much compassion in the world and really care, and felt very, very, very inspiring.
Yeah, it was really inspiring. I hope that they see this video and know how grateful we really are for all of what they did.
Very, very, very grateful.